Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a good day so far. And I want to say happy Rosh Hashanah to all my Jewish friends. I don't always follow the holidays, the Jewish holidays very well, but we were walking this morning and our neighborhood was so dead quiet. And I had seen a thing about Rosh Hashanah yesterday on my Facebook feed, and I wasn't exactly sure the dates. And then I'm like, oh yeah, we in certain areas of Massachusetts, Rosh Hashanah is a school holiday, and so our neighborhood was dead quiet. And it was like, it was eerily quiet and we were late. And normally there's school children walking to school and cars going towards the school. And so happy Rosh Hashanah to all of you who celebrate. And today we're going to do a Christmas card, not planned that way because I did not know that it was Rosh Hashanah today. I have something stuck to me. But I love this Christmas card. It started off, of course, with our Casing Tuesday challenge, and I had to kind of take a slight diversion. I knew I was going to divert anyway because this card, let's take a look at today's card real quick. Nope, that's actually, I do want to show you that. We'll take a look at the card, but first, I need to remind everyone, today is the first day you can order the 12 Days of Crafting Advent Calendar. It is Christmas themed. The box is Christmas themed, but the stuff inside of it is all occasion. And it just went on sale today at midnight. So it's available right now. If you're on YouTube watching me right now, I did put the direct link to this calendar right in the description of the video, just in case anyone wanted to get it. I don't know how many they have. I don't know how quickly it will sell out. I don't know, but it could sell quickly, but I don't know. We've never had something like this before, and I don't know how many units they have ordered, but I'm just putting it out there to you. If you would like it, don't delay in getting it. I don't think it's going to survive all the way until Christmas. I don't even know if it will survive all the way until the end of today or the end of September. I don't know. But it is a cool new crafting kit, so I just wanted to point that out. Now I'm going to point out the card for today. Let's take a look at today's card. Here it is, and it is a very busy card, and it's cute, and it really suits the bundle, and I will be using this bundle in the future. Let me just, oh, I think I have it on my desk. It is somewhere. Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff sitting out here. Oh, I know where it is. It's called the Gingerbread Man Bundle, and I already have something planned with it. I just haven't had opportunity to execute yet. It could be this week that I use it, depending on what is in stock and what isn't in stock. I also have an idea to use for my today's card, which I might use the same bundle on Friday. So we'll just kind of see. But this Gingerbread Man bundle is super cute. It's a very large gingerbread man, and you can make gingerbread cards because there is a hinge on excuse me, one side of the card. So you can absolutely make a gingerbread shaped card too with this very easily. So I think it's a really fun bundle. But for me and my card today, this suits the Gingerbread Man bundle, but I don't know how many others it would suit. It's like a high energy card. It says, oh snap. And so I would not have put as much going on because I am a much simpler stamper. So I already was going to substitute out the three colors of the three bands of card stock that were kind of going across. I was already going to substitute that out. So my card took a slightly different direction, but it allowed me to showcase a different thing that I wanted to showcase. So that is kind of cool. So let's just take a look at the sketch. You are welcome to join us over on our Casing Tuesday Facebook group. And we always provide you a sketch so to help you with the measurements. Those ovals on the sketch are just to represent a shape, because you might not have the gingerbread man bundle and you might want to use something else. You can use whatever bundle you want to create this. You do not have to use the gingerbread man bundle. I'm using a different bundle on mine. So you'll see what I did on mine today. This is always a starting point, and then you add yourself to the mix and create your very own card. You're welcome to post them on the Casing Tuesday Facebook group, or you're welcome to go and check out what we've done over there. There's always several of us that post over there each week. So here is my card, and I love how this turned out. So instead of having 2 layers of designer series paper in the background, I did 1 layer and just very much simplified it. And then I did do a shape, which is the arch. And then I added the tree. And the cool thing about this card is that you do not need to destroy this card. To get the candy out, there is a little pull to release candy. I've done a similar one before, but this one is a little tiny bit different. There are a few pieces to this card that I need to kind of describe. So what I'm going to do is I will have a project sheet for you for this particular card to make it easier for you. If you are on my email list, you can get this on Sunday. You must be on my email list to get it. My Friday project sheet always goes out on Saturday, so this one will go out on Sunday. So it is a very cool card. We're using the pine tree trimmings bundle, and I hope I have my Christmas tree somewhere. Oh shoot, it's gonna be here somewhere. Oh, good. Sometimes when I do things, this is the pine tree trimmings dies that comes with the bundle. Sometimes when I do these things, I have my die kind of flying around my room and I don't know where it is, but these are the dies that come with the bundle. And you need these, the tree shaker domes. They come in a little box of 10, I see here. So you will need these 2 if you want to make the card the way I made it. So I'm going to show you how to make this card from start to finish. The project sheet will come out on Sunday for you. And yeah, so I think we can get started. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you right now. My brain's going a little blank. I got up at 2 a.m. To send out my advent calendar email, because I wanted to make sure anyone who wanted to get it could get out, and I needed the link, and Stampin' Up hadn't provided the link yet. So I am a little bit loopy this morning, I think, from a little sleep deprivation. Okay, so I am going to switch to my other camera, and we are going to make this card. Okay, so I want to show you before we start so you kind of get the idea. This is what the card will look like once all the candy's pulled. Now you're welcome to put whatever else you want in here. You could turn this into a shaker card afterwards by putting things inside of it, because this is a reusable card. I will also, what I did for these right here, I just printed this off in a Microsoft Word document. So I'm going to include these in the PDF so that you can cut them up and use them to release the candy. I've used arches on this card. If you want to use a different kind of shape, or maybe even just a rectangle, you can. Everything on this card is centered. So if you're doing the tree, you're going to center your shape, you're going to center your tree, and everything should probably still work just as it should. I do like the arch though, because it's kind of nice here. Okay, so let's just take a look at this mechanism. Pull to release candy. So you're going to pull this, and this is going to allow the hole right here, or so you can see the candy will fall out of that hole right there. So it's a nice release, and that's also how you fill it. So you just shove this back in here. It does stay put. Like, you might wonder, okay, is this going to fall out? The way I have created it, it's going to stay where it is, because there's a bit of a tension there, and that's on purpose. You know, you don't want this flying out and then having M&Ms spill all over the floor. It should stay put for you. So this is what we're going to make today. And then the inside of the card here, I just did kind of a simple stamping for the inside. So we're going to do this from start to finish. So my first step for you is going to be to make yourself a card base. Now, technically, if you want to make this in a regular card that opens like this, you could cut a card base like that. I just started it out as a tent fold card, but if you would prefer to do it, you know, just the normal card base, you could do that as well. Okay, so you're just gonna, this one is kind of a tent fold with the fold up at the top, so it's 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it in half, as you can see, at the 5.5 inch mark. And we're just going to fold this. We're actually going to be die cutting into this in a moment, so I just want to have this ready and set aside. Next, you're going to need a piece of designer series paper. I am using this paper here. Oops, sorry, my chair rolled into my table. It's the North Pole delivery paper. The best paper for this card, I think, is choosing a tone-on-tone pattern that will kind of blend into the background a little bit. You could use a busier pattern because we do have a big white space here. Just remember though, if you're giving this card to a kid or whatever, you want to draw your attention to the M&Ms. So if you have something very colorful on the perimeter, it will look nice, but it will compete for attention for your tree. So if you choose maybe a more tone-on-tone pattern like I have chosen here, it's going to draw your attention to the tree. So look for paper that will kind of blend with your card base. Okay, so I've got this piece. We're going to die cut into this one as well. So I'm just kind of giving you all the pieces. This is 3 3/4 by 5. We'll set that aside too, because we're going to die cut into it. And then we're going to cut ourselves a little arch with the everyday arches dies. And I'm just going to measure this one. So you know, this is going to kind of create like the centerpiece of our card. It is the die. If you measured, it's 2 5/8 inches across. Okay, so just separate that from the other dies so you know which one you're going to need. And then we're going to need, there was a piece. A piece of basic white, just a rectangle that will fit this shape. All right, let me see if I can remember to do everything that I need to do while getting out the die cutting machine. Let's bring out this machine, and you'll need the big one with, not the mini one. You're going to grab your base platform, your thin die adapter, a cutting plate for the bottom, and a cutting plate for the top. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut an arch. That's the first thing we're going to do. Okay, so we've got our little arch. The next thing we're gonna do, and this could have been done in different ways, but this is how I did it to create something that was a little less thick. So now we're gonna cut an arch into our designer series paper. Yeah, we're gonna cut an arch right into the designer series paper. And I just want this arch to be centered on the paper. So that's just the main goal. Just have it centered. Just kind of look to see about the same distance is on all four sides. And I'm just taking a quick look. Sometimes hard. I like to put it in on an angle because it helps the die roll through. So let's put that one through. You can reserve this piece for another card. All right, so now we need to do one more thing for this shape we just cut. We're going to take the tree and we're also going to die cut a tree. This one is centered on here, centered-ish. I'm trying to see. Yeah, just get it on there so there's a little bit of room up at the top. We're going to put a star, so maybe it's a little closer to the bottom than the top. But for the mechanism on the back, it shouldn't matter. Okay, that looks good to me. So we're just going to go ahead and run this through. All right. This tree, if you want to use it for a different card, you can. We're not going to use it on this card. Okay. Now we're going to adhere our designer series paper to here. And we're not going to, we're going to glue, we're just going to glue this. We still need our die cutting machine. I need to cut a tree shape into here, into the card base. Make sure when you're gluing your arch that you're gluing it in the correct direction. Normally I don't glue on top of my die cutting machine, but I don't want to put it away yet. So we're just going to kind of do this off on the side. Make sure it's opening in the right direction. And again, you want this as centered as possible. Just kind of eyeballing it before I stick it down. Okay. This is why I'm going to do a project sheet for you, so you know what to do. We are not going to glue this in yet because I'm going to tell you why. I'm just going to grab, where's my little box? I want to show you why we're not going to glue this in yet. These little domes have adhesive on the back and they have adhesive on the front. Okay, so there's two liners, one's on the back and one's on the front. This little guy is going to be sandwiched in between here and onto here. Okay, so this has to be loose for now, but I need to know where to tie cut the tree shape. So we're just going to take this, we're going to fit it into here. If you have some temporary adhesive, something that isn't going to stick permanently, you can put a little dab on here and then you can pry it off afterwards, but this white piece right now, we don't want it stuck on there permanently because it will, we need to sandwich that candy thing in there, the candy holder, the dome. Okay, so I've got this. I can kind of feel like it's flat and it's fitted into its arch shape. I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to fit that right on top of, you can kind of feel like the grooves are clicking into place. That's what you want. I'm going to put this on, and now we're going to run this through. Actually, we're not going to go through all the way. We're just going to go through halfway. You could go through all the way, but it's actually faster to backtrack on this one. So we're just going to roll back and forth. So let's see. We've got the tree shape cut out of the back, and then we've got this. Okay, so that's what we want. We want the tree open on the back. Okay, so I think I'm just trying to think, do I need to do anything else right now? No, I think we're good. We're good. I wish I had written more succinct directions. I wish I had my project sheet right now. That's what I wish. That would be really nice. Okay, so we have the pieces that we need. We're not gonna, this dome thing, just do it at the very, very end. You need this opening still open. So just remember, don't do the dome until you're completely ready with all the other pieces of your card. Okay, so we're gonna set this aside for a moment. And now we're going to build the back mechanism of the card. So you're gonna take a piece of cardstock. This piece actually technically will only show when the pull is down, but the pull is actually, this is going to be, what did I call it? The slider sleeve. This will only be shown once the pull has been pulled, but it doesn't show when the slider piece is in. That's what you're going to see normally. That's what people are going to put back and see. So I'm just going to choose a color that matches my card base. So in this case, I'm using garden green. If you're using a different color of paper, like maybe real red, you could choose real red for the background of this. Instead of scoring this piece, we're going to use tear and tape to create a pocket. But before we do that, we need to create, this is the piece we're building. We need to put this hole into there. So this piece is 4 1/4 by 4 1/2. You can take a ruler if you want, like a centering ruler, or you can measure over 2 1/8, and you can just find the center mark. I'm just gonna put a light pencil line because I know my punch is gonna line up right there. You will need a small punch, like a 3/4 inch circle punch is ideal. We currently don't sell one, but I put a link down below in the description of the video in case you need one. So this one and the other punch, you're gonna put it in as far as it will reach, and I just can see my centering mark, and I can see it's centered on my circle. Or if you don't want to do centering mark, just eyeball it. Look for the same amount of cardstock on this side and that side. This is the 4 1/4 inch side. This is the 4 1/2 inch side. So you're punching into the 4 1/4 inch side. And then you're just going to give that a punch. Okay. This is where the candy is going to dispense out of. Since this should be somewhat centered, it doesn't matter doesn't matter if you put it on this side or that side, but the circle down here, the side that you punched into, this is the open side, okay? And these other 3 sides are going to be where you're going to put tear and tape. I debated whether or not to use glue, but glue is a little bit, it's a little bit more random. So you're going to want to put tear and tape, and you could tear this, but I'm going to make it look pretty. I won't tear it. If I were doing it for myself, I might just tear it. So we're going to put tear and tape on all of those sides. And just, I did check this myself, but just make sure, actually before you put your tear and tape on, sometimes when we cut cardstock, it can be off just a little bit. You want to make sure that your width is exactly equal to your card, like that this isn't slightly wider, because you want this to, you know, tuck behind your card. So just make sure it's the same width. So we're going to take this and we're going to glue it right here. And we can glue this down now because our tree is being stuck to the front of the card. I've done this before where I've had it coming through the back, but this one is going to be glued onto here afterwards. So what we're gonna do, you wanna make sure, we're gluing this onto here, you wanna make sure that the open side right here is facing down because the pull is pulling down. So we're gonna remove the liner. Come on, 1, 2, I do like working with glue, but sometimes tear and tape is just really, it's better. Okay, so I'm going to stick this piece right underneath that little score line, not on the score line, but just underneath it. And remember, my open end, or should I say the one where the circle is closest to that side, that goes down because we want a little pocket right there. Okay. So we've built our pocket, and now we need to build the tab that pulls down. So this piece is going to measure 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. And you can either use your scoring board or you can use your trimmer. You need something that scores. I'm going to use my trimmer today just to show you it can score. Put the long side, the 4 3/4 inch side, up at the top and line it up at the 4-inch mark over here. Get rid of your cutting blade and come in with your scoring blade, and we're just going to score. So it's at the 4-inch mark right here. Okay. This is going to be great because it's going to, right here, see where my score line is? The score line tells you where to stop shoving this in. Once the score line lines up, that's where you stop, and it kind of sticks out a little bit because it's scored there. So it makes it really handy between your little pull to release candy notice and the fact that it's scored there. It's going to tell everyone, you know, where to pull and where to stop shoving it back into the card after you've pulled the candy out. Okay, one thing I did, we also don't have corner rounders, but I'm going to recommend that if you have a corner rounder, that you corner round all 4 of these corners. It makes it look nice, and at the top when you're shoving it in, then these corners don't get stuck when they, or as stuck if they're round. So I also have a link to these corner rounders down below. A lot of us already have a corner rounder, so if you have one, use what you have. But if you don't, this is handy. Okay, and then we're going to fold along the score line. All right, and then we're going to shove this in to our piece. So you want to make sure it is all the way up to the score line, and then just have a look. The tear and tape is going to prevent it from going too far, but you want to make sure it is centered on here. Okay. All right, so that looks good. Now you can do one of two things. This, since I'm using green back here, it's going to be hard. I want to stamp the tree here. If you can see really well into your opening and see where you stamp, you could go ahead and just stamp right there through the opening. And even if you get a little ink on the edges here, it's going to be covered up. So you can do that, or you can trace with pencil around here. Or what I've done in the past too is I just do like little pencil dots on all the little corners that come out, and then down at the bottom at the trunk do some little like that. So I don't know if you can see that. Now I have some little marks that show where the tree needs to be stamped. I don't know what's easier. I think honestly, I feel like if I shove this in here and I stamp it that way, that's going to be easier. You could, if you wanted to, if you wanted your tree to be a little lighter in color, like if you did like soft sea foam or like a slightly lighter green cardstock, then you'll be able to see where you're stamping a little bit better. Okay, I'm just lining this back up again, because I'm going to stamp through the opening. I think I can see that a little bit better than stamping with little pencil marks. You could also use, I have a white colored pencil that I could erase, so that would also help. So I'm just using the same ink, garden green on garden green, and I'm just going to kind of center this right into my opening, living dangerously. And I did a pretty good job of getting that in there. Now, if you get any ink on the opening, it's going to be covered up anyway. I can also just then center it slightly a little bit more to the side if I want to. It's going towards the side. Okay. Now it's gone too far. It's like slight little increments. Anyway, you can play with it until it is perfectly centered. Once you have the bauble on there, the dome, you will not, it's going to distort the edges. So even if it's not perfectly centered, it will be there where it needs to be. Okay, so now we've got kind of the crucial pieces. I want to put on here my pull to release candy. So I will have this as part of the PDF document. And then you just kind of, I'm going to have, it's going to be a page full of these. So you can use it if you're going to make mini cards. This is just going to all be on one sheet. If you don't need it, you could also just write it in by hand. And I just kind of cut up a nice little column there, and then I'm just centering in between the two of those, and then we'll just take that. And normally a dry runner adhesive will work best for this, because I just put this onto computer paper, so it's very light. So I'm just going to take that, and we're just going to center this down here. Now the person will know that they can get the candy out that way, and they won't have to destroy the whole card in the process, because I know people are going to want to eat the candy. But it's so cute with the candy. I don't know. All right, so then we're now ready we're ready for our dome. Okay, so let's get the dome. So you need to decide, I hope I put this in, let's see. Yeah, that works. Okay, so if your dome, since we hand cut this, you want to make sure that you put this in the right direction that you had when you came down with the die, that this all kind of lines up, that you have, because it might be slightly off if you have it flipped. So I'm going to lay this the way it's supposed to go. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the outer liner, or the top liner. And then we're just going to take this and we're going to glue this around here. Then we're going to pull the back liner, and then we're going to take glue and we're going to put it all around the edge. This already has, the tree has adhesive on it all the way around. So now I just want to make sure my cardstock is also sticking down. And then I'll just flip this over and we're going to start down here at the bottom. We're going to fit the arch back into the shape, that little arch shape, so we know where it's going. Okay. All right. So we're getting there, right? I want to add a little greeting. And I have a teeny tiny piece of cardstock that is 1 1/8 by 5/8, and I am switching now to a different bundle. And you don't necessarily need this bundle, but I really love it because, again, I do love punches, and they do make your life faster and easier. And this one comes with 3 little punches: the star, the stocking, and the little tiny Christmas tree. So what I can do, oh shoot, I forgot to get some more gold foil sheet. I had a teeny tiny piece, oops. Okay, I have just thrown all my extra pieces of gold foil sheet out of the gold foil sheet package. So here we go. I used up I had a little scrap yesterday that I was punching into. Today we're gonna use that shape. Just put that away. I always kind of keep little scraps of gold foil because sometimes you need them for like little stars. So I'm gonna use this little star punch and punch this. I could also use this die set. It does come with a little star die. You could also just die cut it out of gold foil sheet. I know, but I love my punches. And I'm going to take Merry Christmas out of here, and that's why I also mentioned the bundle. So, okay, where did my little mini dimensional on the back of the star. I think the stars are the same size die cut versus punched. And you're just going to put the star right at the top like that. Very simple, easy design. And then we're going to take this little piece, scrap piece, and let me find my real red ink pad. And we're going to do Christmas first, 2 separate stamps, and we'll stamp Christmas near the bottom, and then we're going to add Merry right on top. I really like small little greetings like this for my 3D designs, and also now to create a little Merry Christmas for the front, because I'm going to line these up so they're the same spot, because there wasn't a greeting that was small enough to fit beside the tree and still look good. So I thought this would just be perfect. Just a teeny tiny Merry Christmas next to the tree. Okay, we are ready to add candy. So we can do this whole thing and you can buy your candy later. So we're just gonna pull this. What I used was mini M&Ms because they are super cute and colorful. And so we're just going to pop mini M&Ms into here. And you're just going to keep going until it's really full. Now you want this super full because you want it to go all the way to the top. So I'm going to put my finger there and we're going to see if this is full enough. So if you shake down, I can see that there's a little tiny bit of a gap up at the top. So if you can, grab another mini M&M and shove it in there. Okay, I think we can add a few more. Okay, I'm gonna turn this around again. I'm gonna shake it down, and now I feel like it's going almost all the way to the top. That's what you want. You don't want them, you don't want a little hill here either, because this slider piece has to come back in, right? So you want to do that. Okay. So now you turn it around and look, your candy's inside. I know there were a lot of pieces to this, but it wasn't that hard, right? Like, it was pretty easy. So I think if I give you guys a project sheet, so you can see all the pieces you need and how they're supposed to look, I think you'll be able to make this pretty easily. And don't you think people will love this card? Like if they get it, because they can eat the candy and it can still sit on the shelf, but it's like a little kind of happy thing. You could not mail this in a normal envelope though, just as a caveat. You would need a padded envelope, which would cost you more money. So this is not an inexpensive card to mail out. So this is a type of card I would hand to people or put in a package. Maybe if you're sending a gift along with your card, this would be a killer card to send out. Now to finish it off, I cut the second largest arch, and we're just going to use Garden Green ink again. We just used 2 colors of ink on this project, Garden Green and Real Red. They are 2 of our most traditional Christmas colors. And I'm just going to take this. This is the tree that we used in the back. And actually, there are 2 other trees I could have used. I didn't have to use this tree. I could have used, there is this really spectacular star tree, which would look really nice as well. Or you could do just like the regular pine tree, right? So options for you. And then I'm going to use, I did this before. I did it in Garden Green. Well, let's do a little red this time. Let's see what we like better. This is Sending Christmas Wishes. And then we're just going to put this kind of right next to the tree like that, because it's angled like that. It fits nicely against the tree. And that's it. That is all I'm going to do for the inside. I think having this kind of arched shape on the inside is nice because it kind of just goes back to our arch on the front. And it's, you know, it's not hard. It's just adding just a little extra, and then you can write your greeting on here. And you have this up here to tell them to pull to release candy. And remember, you can make this as a traditional card too. It can totally be made as a traditional card too. This, instead of this thing lining up at the score line on that side, it's going to line up against the score line on this side. But it will be very similar, because this will just be, it would be like, if I can cut off this This is how your card would open then, like that, right? And then it would just, like, it would open, you know, like this instead of like this. So you know, by the time I thought of that, I had already made my samples, so it was too late to do the second one in a kind of a traditional style, but just so you know. And so this is how the card looks when it's empty. Theoretically, you could put like some punched out shapes on the tree. The only thing with that is, remember, this is the slider piece, and there's going to be, it might get caught when you're sliding it in and out. If you want something a little bit more colorful, you could also do this piece as a white piece. Then you could stamp and color. Like, say if you wanted to do the star one here, you could, if this was stamped in garden green or a dark color, you could color in all of these little stars, and then they would show through, and it could be, you know, just, it would just be a different look, right? I do like the green bubble though, because I think it looks nice still. It looks like just a very elegant card after all the M&Ms are out. There's nothing wrong with it. You can see some of the detail of the tree, and the star is still on top, so it looks like a Christmas tree. I have no problem with that, but if you're a person that wants more color after the candy is released, you can choose to do something a little bit different on the pull tab, because that's what's going to be seen afterwards. It's this pull tab and not this back piece. This back piece, we pull this, right? There's a hole in my back piece, right? Because that's where the candy comes out. So this piece doesn't get stamped on. It's this piece, the pull tab piece. Okay. I hope that I have explained that good enough that you will be able to make this card. And the project sheet, I think, will help a lot as well. And I like that this is a small bundle, and it's a little less expensive than some of our Christmas tree bundles have been in the past. So it's a nice, sweet little bundle to get. I also love a little cheer bundle. I've used this. I made a tea light holder with this one. It comes with the 3 small punches. And the Everyday Arches dies are just a good die set to have. They've been very popular. They've sold out a few times already. So I hope you enjoyed that. And if you got this far and you like what I did today, I hope you're already subscribed to my YouTube channel. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. I appreciate all of those things so very much. And thank you to all of you who are here today. I'm about to say hello to all of you. Good morning, Mary Jo from Nebraska. Hello, Mary from Indiana. And if you had any questions about my card today, please post them before I leave so I can answer them. Hello, Barbara from Kentucky. Hello, Barbara. Barbara lives in Massachusetts, not super far from me. Hello, Marty. Marty says, this card will brighten my day. It's cloudy and rainy here. We are about to get rain later today, but thankfully this morning it was really nice to walk outside. I was very happy about that. Hello, Janet, and hello, Valerie. Hello, Carol from Connecticut. Hello, Mary. Hello, Barb. Hello, Ellie from Connecticut as well. Marty says she's having a Rosh Hashanah dinner tonight at her daughter's. Oh, that's awesome. I hope you have a happy, I guess it is the Jewish New Year, right? So happy New Year to you. Ellie says, mini M&Ms, whoopee. They are, I think you could also use bigger M&Ms, but mini M&Ms will fill all the spaces up a little bit better. You can look for other small candy. You could do, I don't ever eat this, but like Nerds or something teeny tiny that's loose that you can put in there that's colorful. Maybe Skittles, although Skittles might be more the size of the larger M&Ms. So I still think mini M&Ms is a good fit for this. Good morning, Mommy Roo. Linda says I did one of the advent calendars with another company a few years ago, and it was so much fun to open every day in December and find a little stamping treat. That's great. We've never had this advent calendar before, so I really, don't know what to expect. It should be fun. Marty says the bundle is so cute. The dies with the gingerbread bundle are great. Yes, I also have the gingerbread bundle. I'm working my way through all the things that I ordered, bit by bit, trying to use all of them, show you projects with all of them. I love cute, fun little projects. So this little tree works really well. And the little tree bubbles are so cute. Okay, so I did a different card that was somewhat similar to this a few years ago. I think it was with the cloche bundle. And I brought the card to one of my nephews. And I don't know how old he would have been, like late teens or early 20s, and he loved it. I mean, I brought it along as a birthday card. I filled it with new candy, obviously, and I brought it to him, and he loved it. So I think people think it's cool. Like, some people will think it's cool to get a card filled with candy. So think about, the young people in your life. Think about maybe also other people in your life. Maybe you're going to visit people in a nursing home. Like something like this is like just fun, and it's a little different. It's a little different than your typical Christmas card. So just think of this as a way to brighten someone's day without having to do like a super huge gift. It's just a nice little fun thing that puts a smile on someone's face. And let's face it, that's huge. If you can put a smile on someone's face these days, that is amazing. All right, I totally got off on a tangent there. Ellie said gingerbread is her favorite. Oh, she still makes the houses. She's still making the houses from last year. We also have started a tradition of making gingerbread houses. But I have a plan for this little gingerbread man that I haven't used yet, but we're gonna get there. Hello for Blue from Cloudy, Missouri. Linda says, how clever to be able to get the candy out with ruining the card. Yeah, and it's a nice, easy mechanism, even though there were lots of steps to it. Not lots, but enough. But it wasn't hard, right? It was fairly simplistic. So I think a lot of people could do it. Maybe the project sheet would help clarify all the steps a little bit better, but I think it's totally doable. Hello, Tina. Hello, Nancy. Valerie says she likes the candy dispenser tab. Well, that's great. Hello, T. Oh, okay. T made one with the cloche dome. Yes, that's the one I was talking about. Yes. A very similar design, except with the cloche dome, I put it through the hole. In this one, the whole dome is on the front of the card, so it's a little tiny bit different. And I don't know, I actually think that this one might be easier than my cloche dome one. And I looked back and I didn't do a project sheet for the cloche dome. So you guys were on your own for that one. I couldn't find it anyway. So because, when I'm redoing something that was similar, I always kind of look back to see how I did it, because not that I'm going to do it in the exact same way, but I want to understand how I did it and to see where I'm going to tweak things. And I did tweak things for this one. And I'm going to give you a project sheet for this one to make your life easier, because I don't think I couldn't find it. So I don't think I did a project sheet for that one. Hello, Tanya from Aruba. Oh, happy birthday to your husband. Oh, that must be so beautiful. Aruba is known for its beautifully colored water. I hope you have a great time. Oh, Tanya's cooking breakfast in her room right now. Oh, she can see the ocean from the room. How wonderful. How fun. Hello, Nalita from rainy Puerto Rico. I saw this morning that there's some tropical depressions off the water off the Caribbean, and I'm like, oh no, I hope they don't hit my friend. But right now they're not hurricane status yet. Tina said, could you use a larger hole punch? Well, let's take a look at the card right now. So we're going to hold this up. I'm going to take, this is a little piece of white. Let's put the white back there. So I think you could probably do maybe a 1-inch hole would work as well. I try to balance, like, ideal size. I try to balance the size of the hole with the candy and the ease of getting it in and out. You could, I think, go up 1 inch. 1/8 on either side of that would not be terrible. It will just look, that hole will look a little bit bigger when you pull things. So I still think a 3/4 inch punch is more ideal. I think a 1/2 inch punch might be a little small for some candy, but you can try it. You know, just punch, like if you want to go smaller, I would just punch a hole into a scrap piece of cardstock and see if your candy fits through it, because the candy needs to come out, and you're also going to be putting the candy in through that hole. So it needs to be, but yeah, I think a 1 inch, a lot of people probably have a 1 inch circle punch, so you could try it. I try one and see how it looks and see if you still like the look of it. But for the most part, once you have this in here, it covers up the hole. So, you know, if you eat part of the candy, it's just the candy is going to sit lower on this tab. You're not going to see the hole. So the hole is mainly to dispense the candy, and you just want it to be, you don't want it to be bigger than the tree, right? Because yeah, that, yes. All right. Okay, let's keep going. Hello, Candy. All right. Hello, Julia from Niagara Falls. I love Niagara Falls. Marty says she loves the card. You're fantastic for giving us a project sheet too. Well, you're welcome, Marty. Tanya says, very cute. Tina says she has 2 craft fairs scheduled so far, and she'll be making quite a few. I love the fact that you do not have to tear the card open to get the candy out. Yes, but definitely if you're making these, I would definitely advertise that fact, and I will have that the project sheet. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna have like a page of these, so you can cut them apart and just add them as a label. I mean, if you wanted to do it yourself, it's not hard to do a Word document and do that. But I got the little arrow symbol, which I thought was kind of helpful. You know, pull this way. You know, sometimes people need extra instructions, myself included, right? Candy says, love this card, so cute, and she loves mini M&Ms, and she said perfect for grandkids. Yes, and young and old grandkids, right? T says, love this card. Marty says she wishes she could give me 2 thumbs up. Thank you. I'm just keeping it. Jean says, too late, but she'll watch the replay. And she says she always loves my projects. Yes, watch the replay, and I will have a project sheet for this one. for Blue says, this is the cutest card. That candy filled tree is absolutely creatively beautiful. Oh, that's great. I'm glad you guys like it. Susan says, so cute. Love this set. Ellie's asking Tina what she offers at craft fairs. There is a Facebook group for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators if you're a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for craft fairs. And if you're not already on there, just reach out to me. I can send you the link. Tina asked, could you maybe mix regular and mini? I would give it a try. You know, if you have them in there, different sizes might look good. I probably do have some M&Ms in there. I think what I like about the little mini M&Ms is they get into all the little tiny corners of this tree. So I think, you know, it gives it kind of a uniform look, but I'm sure if you threw a few bigger M&Ms in there too, it would look just as good. Hello, Susan from Nevada. Ellie says her church is doing a fundraiser soon. This may fit right in. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Nalita says she just placed the order for the bundle of tree and the domes. Awesome. Well, I'm glad I've inspired some of you to make my card. Watch for the project sheet coming out on Sunday. Have a great week, everyone. Don't forget that Advent calendar is now available to order today. And I can't think of anything else, but if you're on my email list, I will email you with upcoming things that Stampin' Up! Is doing. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And Julia just said her son loves Tic Tacs. That would work too. And if you, sometimes they have colorful Tic Tacs for like Christmas colored Tic Tacs. So, all right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.